Hello. How is everybody? Could I get a hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello? Am I
Hello.
animating?
Hello?
Yes, I am animating. Very good.
I am anime. Hello. I am Cat and Bose, and these are my two lovely players slash GMs slash furries.
Assistants.
I mean, I'm just a furry. I don't know. I don't know. I'm just a furry.
Who are you? What are you doing here? How'd you get into my house?
I am Vita VT, and I am here to be a cute tiger girl and play a cute tiger girl.
Riveting. Riveting. Pyro style. Azure. Who are you?
I am Azure, and I am here to make jokes, create problems, and just say whatever comes to mind.
Exactly how many raccoons are there?
No one knows an exact number. It's just at least 50 something.
The number changes whenever we attempt to observe it, so it's in a state of quantum flux.
You can either know how many
Schrodinger's
raccoons
raccoons.
you can know how many raccoons there are or how many snacks that they're eating, but not both.
Correct, because the number will change.
What's that theory about something changing when it's observed versus not observed?
Yeah, sure.
That is the reference that I'm making. It's
Yeah.
the Heisenberg uncertainty principle. I just completely just ranted off something completely deep and scientific in the middle of a fucking tabletop stream. What am I doing with my life?
The correct
Letha's
thing.
the smart one. I'll be over here like, that theory about the thing with the stuff and the thing that comes back, and Meetha's like, some smart title of some incredibly well-known theory.
You're doing fine, Azure. Alright, so we are ready to embark with Wanderhome.
Yes. We did character creation. We made some characters.
Tell us about your character.
Put a name in front of it.
I don't know. What do you pick?
Alright, well, I made a character named Tigress. She's a snow tiger. She is a lady and a hero, but she is not a monster, a cheat, or a liar. She is a white tigress with a dark green sundress and sandals.
You know, that art
Interesting.
sounds very vaguely familiar.
Yeah. She has slayed a dragon and wrecked marriages, but she has not committed high treason or lying under oath.
Interesting.
She carries a book of magic spells from a witchy crone that I can't read for some reason. Something that has been stolen from me, a tattered blanket. The last thing I have is the memory of my parents. I told Crumb how to throw a punch. I still need to prove to Protector White that I'm not going to steal from the helpless. I tried to steal gold from Crumb, but they didn't care about the gold, only the snacks.
Yep.
Crumb has vouched for my good character. I keep notes.
So, Crumb, tell us about your little adorable thing.
I was about to. Hold on one moment. I'm hoping I'm just seeing things and that
Your character sheet didn't
the computer did not actually just erase 2 pages of my character sheet.
Oh, good. I'm gonna go then. You resolved that. My character's name is Protector White. They are an albino Komodo dragon. They're the playbook The Veteran. You have a sword sheathed at your hip. You can unsheath it whenever you want. You must never unsheath it. Describe the look at your sword. It looks unremarkable unless you know what to look for, and it is starving. Don't worry about what that means.
I was going to ask what that means.
Don't worry about it.
I'm going to worry about it.
Just my personality is I am sometimes bitter and heartless, and I refuse to be terrified or beautiful. I have many scars, a wide-brimmed hat, a nervous tic, and a billowing cloak. They are intense, sober, and mindful.
Is it a sombrero?
No.
Okay.
Something to keep the rain off. Nothing more. Crumb, have you figured out what's going on?
No. So when I booted up the sheet, like 30 minutes ago, my stuff was all there. And now the only thing that hasn't been erased is the Kith page where I put all of CD's information.
Lovely. Can you reload?
Yeah, I've already closed it down and reopened it a few times, and it's just the same thing. Page 1 and 2 are blank, and it's just page 3 that survived somehow.
Is this a page of notes that you kept?
Yeah,
Yes.
for Crumb's character sheet.
Okay.
Do you remember what choices we took?
More or less.
We can go through that real quick if you'd like. That would be easy.
I will just have to read through the playbook again.
Would you like some help with that, or shall we just start while you do that?
Why don't you two do that together, and I will just sit here and be pretty.
All right.
I'm going to test my memory first.
You are a raccoon. That is your animal.
Yes. So I am playing as Crumb the raccoon, who is a fool. He is lovable and funny, but worried that he is actually not popular or useful.
Yeah. Are you writing these down?
He dresses in things like noble attire, a flamboyant hat, and walks around with a complete lack of foresight.
Yep.
He has spent much of his life making other people happy, and he had a really upsetting childhood that he hates talking about, but most people just assume that he doesn't know a lot about the world.
Yeah.
The thing he carries with him everywhere is a purse full of valuables that can buy basically anything. And some other thing that he has that he just doesn't know where he's misplaced it is Seedy, a small and forgotten witchy god who has decided to accompany him on his journeys. Let's see, the thing I say so often that the dear veteran gets tired of hearing is, what could go wrong?
Yeah.
And Tigress showed me how to throw a punch.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
I can meander around, give great advice, give terrible advice, and no one can tell which is which, not even myself. Do something that's actually pretty funny, ask but why, and ask what's going on. Thing I usually find myself asking most days.
Lovely. So, now that we've kind of gone through that, you can start copying that into your sheet. Maybe save it twice. You know?
It's like, I know it's saved because CD is there.
Yeah, that's so strange. Alright, cool. And now we embark. Once we have our place, some kith, each other, we are ready to play. All we have to do is answer some questions together. What sort of place did we just travel from? We described that. It's from the main city.
Yes,
Uh,
we are basically refugees leaving the main city.
Yeah. Do we feel our journey has been long? Crumb and I's has been long. Yours is kind of just starting. But
Yeah, you picked me up at the city. The question is, were you guys traveling long before the big city?
Thank you for the follow, Klondike like chemist. That's a funny name.
Yeah, that's her.
That
is her.
Klondike chemist. Who is her?
That's her, Your Honor.
Oh,
The
your
one that's
girlfriend.
now
You've been
manages to tolerate my jokes.
your girlfriend that theoretically exists or does not exist.
Yes, my girlfriend from Canada who goes to another school that no one's ever heard of, who really exists.
Yeah, the one you've been hiding from us.
The one that you keep telling us exists, but we have never actually met before. Klondike chemist.
Well, welcome to the stream.
She sounds cold.
Very tasty.
Cold but tasty. Like an ice cream bar.
Sounds like you do a lot for her.
I do end up as her errand boy more than often at not. Most days at work.
I mean, that sounds like a lovely existence to me.
I mean, that's part of being in a relationship.
Yeah.
Sometimes you wind up being the errand boy, and sometimes you wind up asking them to run errands. It's a give and take.
Exactly.
And sometimes I'm responsible for somehow telling her no whenever she passes by a craft store that has things on sale.
You tell her no when she passes by the yarn store.
I try.
Yeah, I like the hesitation there.
Doesn't always work. That's fair.
Yeah.
Well, welcome. And, yeah. Is there somewhere we hope to go?
I think we're trying to find a place to settle down, from what I remember from Monday's session.
Yeah.
Quick bit of context. We created these characters on Monday. We're just sort of reviewing right now before starting the game. We're just answering some questions from the book.
All right. So, can you describe, Mitha, the Toxel Bomb and how it describes the heaviness of the world? How does it show stagnation?
We wrote these down, yes?
This is one of the moves, and I am having you invoke them.
Okay, this does not answer my question. My question was, we wrote this down, yes?
It is on my place document that I made.
Oh, so it is on a document that I can't see.
I can save it and share it with you.
I especially love the part where she asks me to repeat back information from a week ago on a document I can't see.
Listen,
Thanks for that.
I'm not as good at this as I had hoped to be. Look, I'm keeping this document for
trying.
stream. I'm trying my best, okay?
Fair. I mean, there was a Wonder Home Notes document that I made and started last time.
Yes.
You could just copy and paste the information from the environment into that one.
I did, and I sent you the document.
Oh.
I sent you the document and links and assets.
Mhm.
And I will be opening the Google Docs. And I'll start moving it over there. Okay.
Ah. The Toxel Bog. It is a bridge in a glen in a swamp. There is a mighty creature hiding underneath. There are churning waters far below. Soaring dragonflies, relatively dog-sized, a feral and unremarkable creature that no one has seen for hundreds of years. Okay. I imagine it's either down in the bog or above it. I don't know. We didn't say. Uh, the fox and the toad crossing, the day the woods walked, and the treacherous lights deep in the dark. Contains frogs, toads, geckos, twig and leaf fairies. They blend in like stick bugs. This place can always describe the heaviness of the world, show tension caused by stagnation, bog someone down, or give them a token. Heavy fog, cunning, tricksy offering to help. This place can always describe the distance to the other side, push something off the edge, offer someone an easier way, describe a world teeming with life, show a conflict between wild creatures, introduce a new buggy creature, give someone a token if they engage with it as an equal. Interesting. Is that about cover it?
Yes, but I'm asking you to invoke one of the... Oh, God.
I mean, we haven't really even, like, set ourselves in this scene yet, so...
Yeah, set the scene.
Says the DM.
I'm not the GM here.
This is technically GM-less.
Yeah. I am off...
Wow.
I am... Look, I take a descriptive role,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm offering... I'm trying to pass the... I want everybody to participate in this.
Okay, fair enough. But there's also a certain mechanic about the one who isn't talking very much. Alright, so... I sort of imagine we arrive here, it's dusk, the moon is starting to come up, the skies are dark, and we're stopping here because we need to camp for the night. I think we probably find a little clearing. Off to the side, there's this bridge in the distance, and it's like, I don't want to cross this at night. I'm going to make a campfire. We can cross it when there's daylight.
Hmm.
And I think somebody sits down and makes a little campfire. I want to say Tigress is making food.
What type of food are you cooking?
I think it's a stew with big chunks of potatoes. Probably something very, very simple, but it's also got a lot of flavor to it.
Potatoes.
It's also a bit on the hearty side. As tends to be the case with a group of people who are spending all day walking.
I think you see that, Protector is kind of being a little bit of a stick in the mud and has, like, a bag of, like, hardened, like, hardened tack, you know, like, hardened trail, whatever, you know.
Biscuits.
Yeah, some sort of, like, trail food. And it's like,
So-
and doesn't take what you're offering them. They're,
Tigress will remember this for later.
yeah.
A message pops up on screen.
Yeah.
Tigress will remember that.
They're drumming against the pommel of their blade and kind of just shaking their leg. Just like,
Sit. Take a load off. It has been a long day and a lot of walking. You need the rest just as much as we do.
I'm fine.
You're not very good at taking care of yourself, are you?
I'm just knowing my job.
Whose job is it?
Nobody's.
Exactly.
I don't need to be taken care of. I'm not a child.
I think that's
Gestures
when
over to Crumb, kind of like absent-mindedly.
I think at this point Crumb just like offers like a little bottle of seasonings, and it's just that's just the way he is. Modest.
I think she like seasons it a bit more to taste. And she's just like, oh well, suit yourself. It would not be a wise idea to go charging across the bridge into the bog at night.
I'm not suggesting we do that.
Okay. Then you may as well sit.
Sits down. I think. Pulls out a I think pulls out like this thing of what are those described? Like a sewing circle thing, you know? Like the needlework, and there's like a little picture in the middle
Plastic
of it.
ring.
Yeah, the plastic ring, but it's like made of wood, of course, because it's no plastic doesn't exist in this setting.
Yeah.
Yet. There's like the wooden ring, and then there's like embroidery. Yeah, that's what it's called. And starts kind of moving away at it. I don't know. Do you just look over their shoulder at this craft?
Put a name in front of it.
Any of you? I don't know. You've never probably Tigris, because she's never seen
Tigris
them
just
do
got
anything
told
artistic.
Tiger's just got told off though.
Okay.
I think she's sort of just she's sitting there focused on her stew. She's cooking, and it's just like she sort of gets the feeling that did your character have gender pronouns by any chance?
They them.
They them. Okay. I think Tiger sort of feels like they want to be left alone right now. That's sort of the vibe she's getting from that last response, and so she's not looking over their shoulder right now. That might be Crumb, but it's not Tigress right now. This is a consequence of your previous actions.
Mm-hmm.
Crumb is very inquisitive and is making sure everyone got their fill of spices and seasoning.
Do you... Does Crumb try to get Protector to eat some of the soup? Just like dry bread and tack. Maybe a couple of like hard cheese, but that's all they want to eat. Or like that's their food. Doesn't immediately trust Tigris in their cooking. In her cooking.
She sets out 3 bowls, one for each of them. And Tigress is like, it might help if you dipped it. And then she goes and sits across, giving them lots of room across the fire, and starts humming.
Crumb will definitely take his bowl, and then he'll grab Sorry, my cat is making as much noise as he possibly can.
Don't worry about it. We're
There's
not hearing it.
There's a large swamp cat making noises off in the distance. I think this makes Protector jump up, put their hand to their sword, look around, sigh, sit back down, put dust off of the embroidery, and continue working on it.
Yeah, Crumb will take his bowl and start enjoying it, and then put Protector's bowl near him, like not in his way, but like enough so that it's there when he wants it, and he can like keep an eye on it.
Does Protector hear anything when their hand goes to their blade?
Like from Crumb or from Tigris or
From the blade.
Does the blade make sounds?
Told you it's starving. Moves are listed in that document that you can activate if you'd like.
I think it would make like a something that sounds like a disappointed sigh or growl as like Protector sits back down.
Told you I don't do that anymore.
Kind of like the vibe of ah damn so close.
So close to you using it, yeah. I think you see like the blade kind of like shaking its scabbard. There's
There's like a quiet hiss from it.
yeah.
Just a lynx cat. They won't bother us if we don't bother them. They're more frightened of us than we are of them.
Nope, you're right. I try not to. This world has no use for these anymore.
There will always be more wars. Enjoy the peace while you can. The world is nothing if not replete with war.
I don't know. From over here thinks it's no longer going to be much of that anymore. Admire the optimism.
As do I.
What was the question again?
There wasn't a question there.
I basically just said that you don't think there's a need for war anymore.
And we admire your optimism in that regard. And this was said to your face, and you heard it.
Yes.
Well, ain't no use worrying about things too far in advance anyway.
Too many unknowns. Too many things could change between now and then.
So I'm trying to see where it says how much tokens we get.
Would also be nice if we could figure out, like, circumstances in which tokens can be invoked.
There's a whole list on the character sheet I sent you. Spend a token to do these things, you get a token to do that.
Oh, wow, that closed the other document that I needed open. Thanks for that. Ah.
Gotta love it.
I did suggest we were going to pause a moment and get some rest. So, yeah. That is one of the things under getting a token.
So, take a token.
How are we keeping track of tokens?
Ooh, we were supposed to get some little physical knickknacks.
Mm-hmm.
But we can just do that in like our character sheets or something.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to find.
Done. Do you need a moment?
I'm just trying to find where it talks about tokens. But it's in the index. But
I repeat my question. Do you need a moment?
Maybe.
I'm also probably focusing on the wrong thing.
The reason I ask is because we can always take 5 if you need it.
I'm just trying to make sure I get the rules right, mostly.
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll take a quick water break.
Let's take a quick water break. Cad, we are mutinying and and saying we are going on a 5-minute break.
Okay. Y'all have fun.
I'm going to get some water to sip on, and then I will also look through the book to
All right. So it seems that you just kind of get them through play, and they seem to be pretty simple to get. So that's what the rule is. You don't start with any immediately.
Okay. I have marked that I have one.
Yeah. So I think Protector offers to take first watch.
Okay.
And
Tigress just suggests, all right, when you need to sleep, get one of the rest of us up, and we will take the second watch.
So which one of you wakes up first?
Who do you wake up first?
I don't wake up anybody first.
So if you disregard Tigress's instructions?
Yes.
Okay.
I am inconveniencing myself to help someone else.
Gasp.
I will take a token.
That's not very self-care of you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm saying is, do any of you wake up in the middle of the night? Y'all have
I think Crumb might wake up to get like a sip of water and look to see if Protector's bowl of food is still there.
I think it is.
Damn, untouched.
Untouched and cold. Do you say anything to them?
Just picks up the bowl. Want me to reheat this for you?
I wasn't hungry.
Just wait. It'll hit you eventually. Always does with me.
There's still some embers in the fire you could use to reheat it.
I think Crumb will try and like reheat the food and make sure it's still safe to eat without like restarting the whole fire. Just try and like warm one bowl's worth.
Do you like put it in their hands?
It's absolutely. Tigress is absolutely sawing logs.
Like,
Sure.
I'm thinking. I had to quickly Google what the definition of meander was.
Wandering, getting to a place by a circuitous route. Getting to a place by a less than optimum means. Taking the long road.
I don't know if this move is if this is the move's intended purpose, but I think after Crumb reheats the bowl of food, he'll like sit next to Protector and ask him what's going on.
that's one of the questions you can ask.
Yes, ask what's going on. Token, give a token to someone who helps answer / understand. But asking it in kind of a like, hey, is something bothering you way?
Just it's difficult for me to let my guard down around other people. I know you say you trust them. Trust her. But when your job's to keep people safe, trust isn't exactly a part of the question. Stuff's earned.
I think I think Crumb will try and like dip one of his own pieces of hardtack like into the stew and like stir it again so it's good, and then nibble on it just to like show him like, and it's like, well, it's not poison, and then he'll respond probably with something like, I mean, yeah, I trust her. Seems like a good sort.
Very well. I think takes it and grabs it with both hands and slurps it. What does it taste? Is it quite good?
It's quite good, if a little bit spicy. I think it probably has a bit of garlic taste to it.
Yeah, Crumb definitely tried to like put like a little bit of seasoning in anyone's bowl who wanted it. It's just like the little bottle that he never leaves home without.
Paprika.
Thank you. You're a good soul. Crumb. A good soul. Alright. Well. You gonna...
I think he gets a little smile out of that.
Is this taking a chance to connect with someone on a personal level?
Yes.
There's a token for that.
Ooh.
Where is it?
Spend a token in order to connect with someone on a personal level. Offer someone the chance to connect with you on a personal level. It's the
Yeah, I'll
fourth
spend my
one on the
token for
list.
that then. How does Crumb react to this?
I think he'll like he won't pat his shoulder. He probably tried to do that once and saw that Protector didn't like it, so he's just tell you what, you keep an eye out for the big stuff, and I'll keep an eye out for the little stuff. And then he'll like try and settle in a spot like behind Protector, and like start keeping watch so that Protector knows there's someone nearby at least.
Yeah, you know that Protector won't go asleep if you don't offer to take watch. Like, they won't. They are not one to sleep very often.
Have I ever known this to affect them negatively?
Yes and no.
Yes, but they pretend it doesn't.
Yeah.
I knew it. Well, Crumb will at least like try to keep watch or like nap with one eye open, quote unquote, between Protector and Tigris to attempt to ease Protector's nerves a bit.
Alright, take a token. That sounds like you inconvenience yourself to help someone else.
Hell yeah.
Alright. So I think...
Oh, and I guess Protector gets a token for answering Crumb's question of what's going on.
Alright. Cool. I think eventually Protector does go to bed. In the wee hours of the night, I think... Does Tigris wake up to the sun? Are they a light sleeper or light sleeper?
I think she does wake up with the sun.
Okay.
Because that's what she's used to.
So I think you find Protector and Crumb kind of back to back, sleeping on each other.
She sort of smiles and doesn't wake them up quite yet, just letting them sleep for a bit more, because she doesn't know how late either of them were up, and I'm guessing both of them are out like lights. So nobody's on watch.
Not yet, but at least the night watch was mostly kept taken care of.
I think she will take this time to keep a watch, and she starts the fire back up, and maybe like gets a few things out, and you both wake up to cooking, the smell of cooking.
Oh yeah, Crumb definitely wakes up to that.
There's like fried eggs and bits of cooked smoked meats.
So
Hell yeah.
I think as you're foraging, you see a various little critters kind of like eyeing you in the forest.
I think she does not like disturb them. She gives them their space and their respect, and it's just like friendly little smile and a wave, and then goes back to her fire.
I think you.
Is that not what you were hoping for?
No, that's fine.
I'm kind of approaching this from sort of a Ghibli-esque kind of energy, you know?
I think a little dragonfly somewhat approaches you, smelling the food, and kind of drinks water near you and stares at you.
She takes out a little bit that hasn't been too cooked yet, and she sort of leaves it out a little ways away from the camp. But as I'm giving you a bit of a treat, and then retreats back to the fire.
Trying to throw it, leave it out for them in a way that doesn't scare them, but also so that they're close enough that you can watch with delight.
Yeah.
God, I know that mood so well. I've tried to throw fries to crows and just stood really still and hope they'll come and get it.
I think it snags, buzzes over, snags it, and runs off.
Take a moment to watch a tiny moment of beauty and describe it to the table.
Yeah. So what does it look like?
Hell yeah.
I think at this point she's just like, "Aw." And she's just like, she's trying to help somebody or something else out, because they're not going to stay here for too long. So it's not like she's causing the local animals to get addicted to handouts or anything, but she does like helping.
I think eventually Protector wakes, shakes, and a hand goes to their sword, moves across the pommel again. I'm sorry, I must have fallen asleep.
That's what happens when you don't sleep very much.
I sleep plenty.
Situation would indicate otherwise.
I think Crumb will get another small bowl of food, dip a bit of hardtack in it, so that Protector sees it's all right, and then gives him the bowl while he nibbles on the hardtack that's coated in stew.
It dissolves a little in the stew and actually makes it fairly pleasant.
Takes it and eats it.
A little
At least,
spicier than you're used to.
It's at least a good start of to Crumb making good on what he said he would do. Is he doing it because he respects Protector, or because he just likes food that much? I don't have to answer. What are you, a cop?
Kind of. My character is kind of a cop.
Gasp.
Recovering cop, at least.
Thank goodness it wasn't terminal.
Alright. Assigned to cop at birth.
Oh, awful.
Gender is cop.
Nah, cop is not gender.
That's kind of how I'm viewing this character. So what I'm thinking is this is a class of people who was chosen very early on in life that showed some sort of martial prowess and like sense of honor as children, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Good at following the rules, and they were taken from their homes, taken from their families, and taught the ways of like knights and chivalry and nobility and things like that, and then they ascended the ranks and were there to protect the nobles. And that's kind of they're largely left unnamed. Their names are given to them by like kind of physical characteristics of like their skin and like various physical characteristics they pick up and more or less to kind of strip them of identity.
I like that.
No. That's kind of the type of person you're dealing with. Not that you would know a lot about that, but that's kind of my like initial conception of this character. So we pack up, continue walking.
I think takes a little time to clean up her cooking utensils and make sure they're nice and clean before we move out.
I mean,
Crumb will help.
Yeah. Protector will absolutely offer help since you cooked.
She will accept the help with grace and politeness.
Yeah. So
Also, how does that saying go? Gender is a performance, and sister, I'm doing the chicken dance in the middle of a mall food court.
Sounds about right. That's why I've chosen they them pronouns for them. It's just like their gender and their identity is all surrounded around their like job, their assignment. They don't really think of anything else. That's how the society is kind of formed, this person. So, I think we come upon along this bridge various houses and stalls and little food carts and things like that.
Well, civilization.
Just one way to it. Passing through from one place to another. I think you see various like carts being drawn by beetles and kind of like a small little bustling town. Like you see like little boats carried by what are those things that walk on the water? Little bugs that walk on the water.
Skimmers?
Yeah, skimmers and something like that would be cool.
Striders, that's what it was. I was close.
Yeah. And there's like a little tavern called the Fog Friend.
I like that.
We encounter. That's the name we came up with last session.
I still like it.
Yes. And there's various like swampiness below, but kind of keeps us out of the mud of this like little bridge area that's a crossing between places. Well,
Well, do we want to ask around for see if anyone has supplies? Anything we might need?
Yes. We should definitely pick up some more rations and various things. I mean, I suppose y'all are the cooks if you're coming along with us. Just
I need some way to make myself useful.
don't spend too much.
And I will not do that thing that I did last time. I really like to think that a previous time the group stopped somewhere to get stuff. One of them mentioned it's like, oh man, we could really use some more supplies or like traveling materials or cooking things. And Crumb was like, oh, don't worry, I got this. Pulled out his bag of very valuable trading goods and just went, hi, anyone that got like rations or something we can buy? And that created a lot of trouble for the group.
Yeah.
And Crumb has promised to never do that again.
So yeah. I think we also maybe see kind of this like little house with various with like smoke billowing out of green smoke billowing out of the chimney, and it's like well, you tell me, what's the name of Tora's witch shop?
Did we give it a name?
Don't believe we did.
I thought at one point we joked and called it Witch.
Yes, I think we did. It's called Witch. Because puns.
I mean, you have a witch book you'd like to investigate, perhaps?
Yeah. I think she will like knock on the door.
What type of creature? You said it was a black cat?
She is a black cat because it's the whole thing about, witch familiars, black cats. Except she is the witch and she's the black cat. It's funny.
I think you see a tail open the door. Yes, dearie.
Hi. I know we haven't talked in a little while. I wanted to ask you something.
Tigris, my dear, come in. Please sit down.
She brightens because somebody remembered her name. And she comes in, she sits down as directed.
I think
She sort of takes the book out.
Protector and stuff have probably come in as well.
Yeah.
God, I want to trigger the witchy point out a personality flaw trait.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to, what does this witch say to Protector?
What is Protector's general demeanor when they walk in?
Stoic, bitter, heartless, looking out for trouble.
Do you remember the old man from Up? Imagine him as a paladin.
Yeah, kinda. That's actually quite a good description.
Young man, you're welcome to come and sit down if you would like.
I'm fine standing, thank you, miss. Tongue kind of slithers out. Tastes the air.
Leaving?
No. They're a Komodo dragon. You know how their tongues kind of shoot out a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it looks kind of like tasting the air. Untrustworthy.
You are looking for a foe, you will probably find it. But on the other hand, if you look for a friend, you might find it.
That's why I never liked your kind, always speaking in riddles.
Crumb is just absent-mindedly looking around at things.
Oh, there's lots of interesting things in here. Lots of interesting things in here. It's like there's like shiny baubles, and there's books, and there's little beakers that are set over little flames that are bubbling with something that smells good.
Yeah, Crumb just definitely has sparkles in his eyes. He's just looking around at all this cool stuff.
Ooh, you like that one? She takes a little beaker off of a little flame and hands it to you. That's tea. It's good for you.
Just to like tries to hold the beaker without touching any of the hot parts.
She gives you a little like oven mitt and puts out teacups on the table. It's like, come, come, come.
Smells good.
It is a good tea. Rare in these parts, yes, yes. So, what brings you here? It's been a while, Miss Tigress. Well, the city, it's no longer home for me. The undead came, and I don't have much left. But I do have the book you gave me. I can't read it, though. Can you help me?
Protector, kind of self-assuredly, is like, this one's a witch. I knew I shouldn't have trusted her. I was correct. Acts all self-assured.
I knew it.
Witch and temptresses. Protector's two weaknesses.
How is Protector weak to a witch? That's the question.
I'll have to ask.
Protector, you notice a mirror. There's a very nice full-length mirror on one wall. It has a very nice ornate wrought silver frame. And its reflection is very smooth, watery smooth.
Kind
You
of.
look handsome.
I ask, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? Kind of under my breath as I stare into the mirror.
Yes. Out of character.
Only what you bring with you.
More riddles.
You expect riddles, you get riddles.
Just sits there
You see
uncomfortably.
you see your image in the mirror. It looks as stalwart or as handsome or as beautiful as you wish it to be for a moment. And your reflection locks eyes with you.
Uh-oh.
My hand goes to my sword, but doesn't draw it.
The reflection's hand is not on the sword.
What do you
But
here to
instead-
teach me? I'm a heartless,
you-
wicked thing.
Is he? Are they speaking to the mirror or to the witch?
To the mirror. Kind of in their head, almost. But the witch definitely hears it.
A door appears in the mirror next to the reflection of you. Opens the door and motions for you to follow.
Ooh, adventure. Meanwhile, Crumb would absolutely see what he's looking for in the mirror, which is fun, shiny things that just delight and wonder.
All of the shiny things around the room look so vivid to you in the reflection in the mirror as much as they do in the actual world. You can see little gemstones lining things that twinkle and sparkle. You see things that are like not nailed down. You could pocket them if you wanted. But oh, and there's smells. You're pretty sure you smell cookies. You're not sure where, but you smell cookies.
Yeah, thankfully Crumb isn't one to steal things. He's just one to like ogle it with his eyes and just go like, ooh, pretty.
I think I'm going to spend a token to know something important about the place you're in and tell the table about it. I want to know if this place is going to be safe or not.
This place is actually very safe.
All right.
It all depends on what you bring in with you. If you bring in violence, you will get violence. If you bring in curiosity, you will find satisfaction. If you bring in questions, you'll find answers. If you bring in hunger, you will find being sated, I suppose.
Out of character. Man, it's a good thing we ate before we got here, huh?
Yep.
I think... Is this, like, voices that Protector's hearing in
Only
their
Protector hears this.
mind?
Like, there is no danger to be had here. The only danger here is what you bring with you. If you bring in violence, there will be violence. But if you bring in peace, there will be peace.
I think Protector breathes in and out. Puts... takes the sword off of their hilt.
Mm-hmm.
Puts it down. Says to Crumb, "Could you watch over this for me? Do not open it."
Yeah, Crumb does a little salute and will stay by the sword and keep an eye on it while also looking at shinies.
And I think I'm going to step in.
Okay. You find yourself in a long hallway with ornate marble columns. There are plaques on the wall that mention the names of heroes and list their deeds. There are little stands near some of them with books that have been opened, and people have written in well wishes and memories for heroes, or left flowers. And at the end of the hall, it's a big cathedral. There are figures, animals, in the stained glass, in relief, backlit by the sun. Do you look
In
around?
other words, pretty.
Do you look around?
Yes. There's some pit in my heart that wants her to be here. But there's another part of me that knows she'll never come back to me. That I already messed that up forever.
Gasp.
Describe what it is that you seek.
I seek... Her name is Aurora. She's a beautiful fairy dragon And she is an ex-lover of, well, as she would say, snow. She's glamorous, empathetic. She's a seamstress. They used to work in the castle. They had a bit of an affair, at least how Protector would describe it. She gave them an identity outside of themselves, outside of simply their job.
Snow was the name she gave you.
Yes. A little nickname of some kind. But
Do you know if that castle still exists?
I mean, it would have been the castle that in the main city where Graham grew up. I think it's destroyed, as we've kind of decided.
Okay. And her name was Aurora.
Well, yes.
I think at the head of the church, there is a small dais with another place to remember a fallen person. A person is being remembered. A spinning wheel, a book with Aurora's name, but there's nothing written in the book. There's an inkwell and a stylus. You could write something to remember her. If you would like.
I think I write
Something sweet, something hopeful, an apology.
Or even
All of
just
them sound equally heartbreaking.
or even just a description of her beauty.
I think Protector White writes, I'm sorry I let the blood on my hands get between us and stain. Stain the perfect snow white snow that you once hoped I was. I'm trying to never stain it again. But I know it will always be there. It's a burden I will always carry. And I hope you find someone who's able to give you what you need. And thinks about signing it Love Snow. But they can't. Tears are running down their cheeks.
But why? Out of character.
They step away.
Words appear on the bottom of the page. Learn to forgive yourself. And an image of a little fairy dragon appears dotted at the end of these words.
Gasp. That's just sweet enough to be gay.
Take a token.
Uh,
Take a token.
Alright.
Because that was a beautiful scene.
And I think I step out and I come back into myself. And...
You haven't left the table. You're right there with your two friends and a witch, and there's tea. Everyone is sharing tea, and it smells wonderful. And there are cookies now, too.
I like to think that Crumb is just keeping the sword pinned down with like a little stool that he's sitting on.
And it's like, has the sword, but it's just sort of sitting on it. So it's like, it's not going anywhere. It's not being drawn. It's being protected, but it's just, he's sitting on it.
I kind of...
Actually, what are the pronouns on Crumb? So I know.
Oh, Crumb, he, him.
Okay, so I got it right. Thank you.
My second option was he, him.
What were you going to say, Catherine?
I think I look into the witch's eyes and say, what did you do to me?
It is a mirror. You looked into yourself. It shows you what you want, what you need to see, not what you want to see.
And may have the sword back.
Crumb does like a little salute and gets off of the stool and removes the stool from the sword.
Puts it back on their hilt. Fingering it kind of in their hands. Mumbles to himself, I don't do that. Don't do that. And takes a sip of the tea.
It's good.
Hell yeah.
It reminds you of when you were younger. It's a good memory. Before the undead came.
So what were y'all talking about while I was off in whatever the fuck that was? This is not out of character.
I think they were talking about the spellbook.
So
She was talking to the witch about the spellbook. She's like, I gave it to you, but you need to learn to read it on your own.
I like to think that Crumb just occasionally makes comments that make absolutely no sense. Like y'all are looking over the book and Crumb is just like, oh yeah, the squiggly letter lines. I know what those look like. It's just like, what are you going on about?
I think as you're sitting on the sword before I come back, Crumb, you feel a dark chill slide down your spine. And you hear the question of, are you here to take up the mantle of your forefathers?
I don't have forefathers, just one. As he's just like sitting on the stool and sipping some tea.
My father was
Everyone
an
kind of
important
blinks
man.
at you.
When are you going to begin taking what he was seriously, boy.
Out of character, I'm guessing the sword is referring to Protector.
Is he?
I only ask that because it's like, I don't know if the voice is something that Crumb recognizes or if it's just a voice he hears.
Not a voice you recognize. I mean, if you'd like to spend a token, you can ask some questions about it, because I have some ideas of what it is.
Oh, man. I don't know what's funnier, just taking its questions too literally and just sassing it that way, or using a token to actually discover something. What is the page that says what we can do with tokens again?
It's going to be on your character sheet.
Aha. Oh, yep, I see it. Ooh. I almost said DM, but then I remembered we're all DMs.
Yeah.
I think Crumb will, knowingly or not, ease someone's pain, if only for a moment.
Okay. And I think you realize this is the voice of the king.
I think in response to the, when are you going to start taking this seriously, I think Crumb will just, he doesn't really know where the voice is coming from, but he just thinks like someone is whispering to him, and he'll just say something like, I can't be serious all the time. I'd lose all my fur.
I imagine you're
Always good.
saying this out loud in the middle of this conversation.
Maybe just like looking around at the trinkets to try and like figure out where it's coming from, but then to getting distracted like, ooh, shiny. But yeah, not really 100% paying attention to anything. It's ADHD hours.
Do you think that the witch or tigress react to this?
Can she hear this?
She hears what Crumb says.
Crumb just out of nowhere says something like, can't take things seriously all the time, I have no fur.
I mean, you do take things seriously sometimes.
I like food, that's my favorite.
One can't exist without it.
I think that is something that Crumb can agree with.
Yeah.
But yeah, Crumb accidentally spends his token easing the sword's pain, with
Yeah.
something kind of wise, but also like, hey, it's okay to take a break every now and then from being serious.
Mm-hmm. I think Tiki can respect that.
Very well, boy. Very well. Kind of whips off into the distance. So, we done here? That was very nice of you to give us some tea.
Here, I have something for you, says the witch, and she brings another book over and hands one to Tigress. It's just like, here, this will help you with the language. And I think she hands something to you, Crumb.
Out of character. I hope it's a picture book.
It is in a way, actually.
Oh, God.
It's a recipe book. And there are pictures.
I think he takes the book and like every couple of pages he's flipping through, his smile just gets bigger and bigger until his like smile is like bigger than his head usually is.
I think she just this black cat woman just sort of walks over and just gently rubs your head. It's just like, "Aw, you're cute."
I will treasure this until I flip through all the pages so often that I can no longer read them, but until then, I will love it.
Give some of the recipes a try. I think you'll enjoy them.
Crumb is very excited. I think he'll like pick a page on random and make sure it's not something that requires too many rare ingredients and just try to make like a secret list to go gathering.
It's not too terribly complicated. They're pretty basic ingredients. We're talking like milk, eggs, flour, things like that.
Thank goodness. Things that are one brain cell friendly.
Very good.
Crumb is delighted.
And I think there's this quick conversation between Tigress and the witch. She says, like, "Is there anything we can do to help you?" And she's like,
You've been very kind.
"Do you mind making a stew?" And Tigress is like, oh, I know just the thing. And she just, while all of this like stuff is going on with Crumb and Protector White, she's making the witch's stew.
Cute.
And you know, if the others want some, they can. And by the time everybody's done, she's ready to go.
Nice. All right. So they head out of the witch's shop.
How do you feel about that?
That was really cool. And a little depressing.
I loved it.
What do we go and do next?
Well, do we want to continue to stay in the town or continue to wander on past? Because we still have a whole big swamp and a big bridge to cross.
I definitely think as soon as they like get out of the witch's house, Crumb will like try and encourage everyone. It's like, oh, we should definitely go get supplies next before we forget.
Oh yes. I agree. We should get some supplies. I want to see if they have a miller who has some flour. Because some flour would be good.
Had much to carry, don't you think?
Crumb will fish out like a few small shiny objects from his bag and like put like some shiny rings in Tigress's hand and put like a nicely polished watch in Protector's hand.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, I will carry it. Fret not.
Yes.
After all, one must, carry their own weight. I have to make myself useful somehow.
Yes, I think you're doing just fine.
And I think they go off to the little shops that you described earlier. He gets some flour, and is looking at some of the other spices and things, and seeing if she can like haggle a little.
Yeah.
For, because all she's got is like a few coins and some rings to trade for, and she tries to get stuff that's well within their means.
Oh. Yeah, I think we picked up some good supplies. Did Tigris have a good backpack?
I imagine she's got this big, clunky backpack on, and there's so much stuff going on in this bag. It's mostly like cookware. Yeah, I mean, do you remember Lord of the Rings? Sam's bag,
Yeah.
and all of the little dangly things that are sitting going clink clank as Sam walks along. I'm sort of imagining Tigris as sort of this group's Sam.
I love it.
And there's just this one little box of special salt from home. A home that doesn't exist anymore.
I think Crumb will take it upon himself to try and sneakily, however bad he is at it, gather up a couple of ingredients for one of the things in the book.
Yeah.
I like to think he takes out like a little piece of parchment and tries to like copy down one of the shorter recipes and just goes up to a merchant and being like, I am looking for a few things that might be like this. And he just hands the parchment of paper to the shopkeep like he's seen Tigris do with some of her sneakier things. Trying to copy
like
that cool collectedness.
The shopkeeper's like, oh yes, give me a moment, and like several small jars eventually are put in front of you. It's things like, you know, milk, eggs, flour. There's a small like thing of like mint leaves.
Beautiful. Crumb will excitedly trade a few shinies for it and also let the shopkeeper keep little copy scribble of the recipe.
It's like, ooh, these are nice. We like to trade recipes.
So do I. And Crumb is content with the purchase.
Very good.
That's adorable.
This is adorable.
And to be fair, I think that's sort of keeping in the energy of this particular game.
You're right.
How are we feeling?
Good.
I feel like I picked a really great voice for Crumb. This is good.
Excellent. I enjoy playing the witch. And the best part is the witch can show up in future towns.
Yes, of course they can. Oh God, what was the dice roll character that kept doing that?
Gertie Gold Pockets.
Yes, Gertie Gold Pockets.
Who showed up in every single town they went to.
Somehow.
We know. You'll have to listen to Dice Will Roll, an excellent Pathfinder podcast, to find out.
I will.
This is a reference to the Extinction Curse season.
Really good. Honestly, genuinely recommend listening to it. It's really good. Way better than whatever this is.
To be fair, we don't do
We're-
Pathfinder.
We're getting there, don't worry. One of these days will be just as nonsensical as any other tabletop podcast.
True.
I can almost guarantee it.
We also have less references to, like, Homestuck.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't
Always
know.
fix that if you want.
I mean, you can make as many references to Homestuck as you want, hon.
There's also a lot less mentions of war.
Well, that's because Pathfinder has a lot of lore. I mean, ask Laveau sometimes about Pathfinder and lore, and because Laveau is like the expert on this.
True. Laveau is a lovely streamer friend of ours. You
Yes.
should check out What is Laveau.
I
All right.
believe it's still streaming.
So, in character, is the group agreeing to head out towards the bridge next?
Yeah, I think so.
As they walk along, and Tiggy has a new book she's reading. Because she wants to start learning to cast the spells in the spell book.
Hell yeah.
Thus starting her on the path to becoming a witch herself in probably, a few years.
Which,
She will eventually be witchy.
gets you a wizard hat.
A broomstick and a little pet familiar.
Adorable.
See, but the pet familiar is actually just Crumb.
I mean, I'm not denying it.
Nor should you.
To be a witch's familiar. That'd be great.
Smirk emoji.
So, what the hell are we doing?
I think we'll probably eventually start heading out across the bridge.
Yeah. Do y'all want to take another 5-minute break or so?
That would be
Yeah,
good.
we could do that.
I have a number of messages I need to respond to.
Yeah, everyone get some water and go piss thems.
Alright.
Be right back.
Boy. Going live. Hello, welcome back, everybody.
So, we are heading out over this swamp, this glen,
Yes.
this bridge.
All right.
It looks like the book did not recover on the layout.
This book?
There we go. Took us views.
So I'm kind of feeling like, I mean, it's kind of the point, but it's a bit directionless, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, it is a bit of that. Is this something where you feel like you would prefer more structure?
Kind of. Like, I guess I'm just like, without somebody to move the story forward, I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not trying to take up that role too much, but also, like, giving space for
I
other
also
people
feel
to tell
like
their stories.
I sort of feel like I've been trying to do some of the same thing, try and give y'all the space to tell your stories. I do have a bunch of, like, material for Tigris as a character, but I'm not really sure, like, the format or the way to tell that story. So I've just been trying to, like, where the DM had a little, try to give you the space to tell your story. Try to, the whole idea here is to try and, trade the DM hat around a bit. And so I've been trying to, make sure, like, I do actually DM sometimes. It's like, I can, it's just I have a really bad problem with DMing. I'm bad at ending things. I'm bad at creating satisfactory conclusions that I think fit what I want.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, you've been in some games of mine. It's just like, that it's like, this is a problem I struggle with.
I wouldn't say that I know it's a problem. I know that you tell us it's a problem you struggle with, but, like, as far as the games I've been a part of where you have DM'd, I have enjoyed them greatly. Like,
Yeah, me too.
As for getting through the Glen, it's the Glen, right?
Yes.
I have many bullshit ideas.
Let's hear them.
Let's hear them.
I think, like, a little while into the trip through the swamp, there are times where Crumb just, like, stops and looks at trees weird and just kind of does, like, the picture thing with his index fingers and thumbs. And then after, like, the 5th time of doing this, he's like, "Yep, I know where we are. I recognize this place from the books, from the map pictures. I know exactly where the bridge is."
Where are we exactly?
We are about a few sundial ticks away from the funky-looking rocks that are directly east of the bridge, at least from this side.
Do we follow the road?
Yeah, I think we're following the road. At least we're attempting to, but it seems that Crumb seems to know where he's going, and so we follow him.
There are definitely times where, like, Crumb follows the path, and then other times it seems to disappear, and he just confidently looks between a space of 2 trees and, like, just starts tearing at, like, overgrown leaves and stuff, and is like, this away.
All right.
Also, it's a swamp, so it's like I imagine sometimes marking the path is fraught with horror, and like, signage probably doesn't last as long as it should.
Yeah.
So
I definitely think there are times where Crumb tries to, like, do that. He'll see, like, a big tree and just, like, carefully take off a piece of bark and just, like, poke an arrow into it. But, I mean, as surprising and unusual as it is, Crumb does seem to Crumb does get the group to like a very strangely shaped rock structure after another clearing in the trees. It just looks like 5 stony spikes spitting out of the ground, almost in a symmetrical circle. It kind of reminds some of you of like the shape of a crown. And then he like circles around it a few times. He's like, let's see. 1, 3, 2, 4. This one. All right. He kind of circles around the stone structure and just like dusts off one of the outsides of the stone, and there's like a little smiley face carved into it. And then he just turns 180 degrees and points into the swamp again.
Sure, that's the right way.
Yep, that'll take us right to the bridge.
And does it?
I mean, Crumb will keep leading.
Okay.
He's certainly confident enough.
I think it somewhat starts to get dark as they're trekking along. And I think we see a sign that's firmly placed into the swamp that says bridge, kind of pointing at a 90-degree angle from where Crumb was walking.
Ah. Signage. Very helpful.
I think there's a moment where Crumb like kind of stops when he sees the sign and like scratches his head.
Because you know this isn't the way you think you're supposed to be going.
I think Crumb like stops the group and just like stares at the sign like it's gonna change, and then you could see the brain cell cooking on his face. He's like counting on his fingers and like pointing left and right and trying to like remember something.
You okay there, Crumb?
I think this sign's different.
Have we been here before?
It's also possible someone moved the sign.
He's just like scratching his head. He's thinking real hard.
What makes you think the sign has been moved?
Well, I can't quite put my finger on it. Oh well, it's getting dark anyway. We don't want to try and cross the bridge when it's dark.
Should we make camp here?
Crumb is absolutely okay with that idea. It'll give him time to think and for the brain cell to cool down.
Very well. You want to try one of those new recipes there?
Ooh.
Maybe. And Crumb will like pull out a few like jars of things that he got from the market when he thought no one was looking.
What is
eagerly?
What does Crumb make?
I think Crumb tries to make little bread balls stuffed with like tiny shreds of meat and a little bit of cheese. Because IRL me is a whore for meat and cheese, so why not?
Crumb absolutely seems like the type of person who would love meat and cheese and bread.
Catherine, we need to introduce you to the char and cheesy meat.
Ooh, that sounds
But yeah,
delicious.
Crumb just looks absolutely delighted. He's like, he only has to look at the book a couple times, and then he just starts throwing everything together and like making it very carefully.
I think Tigris is over the moon because it's like Crumb is showing real development with the cooking.
Mhm.
So when Crumb is done like preparing them, he just like puts them all in like a pot or on like a metal plate or something and puts a lid on them. And then he just like wipes his hands clean and just starts going back to thinking about the sign. Like, I don't know if Protector has ever seen him that ponder this much.
I think you feel something poke your leg, Crumb.
Crumb will look at what it is. Maybe it is a bug.
What does CD look like?
You know those adorable, oh gosh, I'm blanking on what they're called. Those very cute, forest people from Final Fantasy. Is
The
it
sylphs?
Sealy or the Sylph, yes.
Gotcha.
Imagine Selkie looks like one of those, but like instead of just a regular leaf hat, they have like a little crown of laurels made from leaves, so it looks like a much fancier hat. And you can tell they have added a brim of leaves all around the hat to make it look like a big witchy hat, kind of like Tigris's mentor.
It's digging at your pouch.
Oh, sorry. I'm trying to stop smiling. I've smiled too much, and my cheeks, my cheeks hurt a little.
I mean, honestly, I think that sounds like a good thing.
Yeah.
It is adorable and cute. Oh gosh, now I gotta think of a voice for a second character. I wasn't mentally prepared for this today. Any ideas?
Hey, listen!
Why? Why would you inflict that curse upon me?
I can't do the fairy from Zelda.
Azure will remember that.
Hey, listen!
CD will like poke through the bag and then look up at Crumb and be like, I thought you had good stuff in your bag. Where'd you put it? Oh, I have already started cooking it. And Protector and Tigris just see Crumb lift up this little individual that looks almost entirely made of leaves and twigs and just sit them on their head like a hat.
Maybe they would like to share some.
You're preparing a salad over there. It's good to eat your vegetables. Not just meat and cheese. How does CD feel about being referred to as a salad?
I'm trying, I swear. I'm trying so hard to stay composed.
Don't worry about staying composed.
Yeah,
I'm worried about everything.
Don't worry about it.
I think CD just kind of stands up on the rim of Crumb's very outrageous hat, kind of like the way kittens get when they're like riled up about something. They just stand up on all fours and just kind of puff themselves up.
Yeah.
Why, how dare you? I have never been compared to such a tasteless, healthy option before.
They're only tasteless if you don't prepare them correctly.
I mean, you are made of salad ingredients, are you not?
Are you?
Says to the pile of leaves.
Oh,
Kind of has a little bit of
I-
a smirk. You haven't seen. It's the closest you've ever seen to Protector cracking a smile.
I am a certified sampler of snacks and an extremely powerful magical user. And then CD will just do like a witch's cackle. Because it is the one thing they can always do. And I think while CD is doing that, Crumb is just like, "Oop, they're done," and just like carefully lifts the lid off of the little bowl plate thing.
Probably like a Dutch oven of some kind.
Yeah. He just starts like poking at these very plain, just boring looking little spheres of bread.
Like sort of.
little-
I'm imagining like dim sum, and they're like little beads of cooked dough wrapped
yeah,
in
kind of
leaves.
like somewhere between that and a hush puppy as far as shape and size.
Yeah. Where it's like if you break it open, it's full of like meat and cheese, but it's like it's this cooked dough exterior, but and wrapped in leaves, and it's sort of you're pulling them out of the pot very carefully because it's like they're all very hot.
But yeah, Crumb just like gets them all out, puts them all on a big plate for everyone to get to, and just like starts fanning them a little bit. Fan picks up one and fans it a little more and like hands it to the quote unquote salad on top of his hat.
Takes it and very aggressively nibbles.
I think CD like takes some nibbles out of it and just looks to Protector and be like, "I will forgive you for this time." Gosh, I gotta differentiate CD's voice and Crumb's voice. Also, while my cat is snoring as loud as he possibly can next to me.
We can actually hear your cat snoring. That's amazing.
Gosh, he's such a sleepy boy. Oh my gosh, I love him so much. Oh, that cat tower was the best thing I ever bought for him. But yeah, CD ceases picking a fight with Protector for now and begins to nibble on a thing. Crumb will make put a few of them on like a little plate and hand some to Protector and some to Tigris, and just like Crumb is very excitedly like fanning the rest of them so he can try and eat into them more quickly.
Careful,
You can
don't
tell
burn your
this is
mouth
someone-
there.
I was about to say, yeah, you could tell this is someone who has learned the lesson of wait for your food to cool many, many times.
I think after you go to reach it, I think Protector puts a hand on your shoulder and it's like, give it another moment. Don't want to hurt yourself. Don't want to hurt yourself.
Crumb is just staring at it hungrily. He knows Protector is right. But yeah, on the outside they just look like little spheres of bread, and then once you bite into them, there's like this very like gooey, sharp taste of cheddar, and then in the very center there's like just a little bit of meat to chew on to go with it.
Oh, that sounds so good. Now I'm hungry. How dare you?
You're welcome.
I actually am sort of amused over here, speaking out of character for a minute. We were going to make this like a sort of a serious game about like serious issues, and we're sitting here doing this, so it's like absolutely just day in the life.
Well, it's kind of what the game
mean-
brings out of you, you know?
Yeah, it gets serious later. I mean, you can't be serious all the time. Like,
Yeah. We're not.
but yeah, it's important to have those nice like peaceful, happy moments in between all the like serious stuff.
Yeah, I'm not objecting. I'm just pointing it out.
I know. Don't worry. It'll probably get very serious in the next episode.
Quick question. DM, does this mean you need to stop and eat something?
I had food.
Okay.
I'm good.
Just checking.
Mitha, do you require a snack?
Not yet.
No.
I actually ate in the middle of Baldur's Gate 3 stream.
Very good.
That's fair. I also had a snack, and I just have my water now.
Very good.
I think, Crumb, like, passes out the plates and is, like, waiting for them to cool, so, like, as a distraction, he's just like, I made these ones because they remind me of one of my favorite buddies. Very, very, stoic and, modest on the outside, but quite a bit of character and flavor on the inside.
With just a hint of mint.
With just a hint of what?
With just a hint of mint.
Oh, but yeah, Crumb is so excited by the food, he doesn't even think to introduce CD until like his plate is absolutely empty. He's like, oh, I forgot. By the way, this is CD, friend of mine. I thought I had them on my shoulder, but it is very hard to keep track of them. They are very easy to lose. I told you CD was somewhere.
Sticks their large hand out to shake.
I'm trying to stop laughing before I start trying to figure out what CD's voice is again, so they don't just sound like Crumb. Hang on, goes back to scrolling a thing. As a friend of Crumb, I am willing to forgive you, but you may call me CD, or I will also accept all powerful.
I'm sorry, all powerful. Pleasure to meet you.
CD looks very smug at this, but accepts the compliment and continues ravenously nibbling on the one treat that they got.
Takes a bite of it very slightly. It's hot. It's just cooled enough. It's like, all right, it's good.
I should let you do the cooking more often. He's clearly eating hers very slowly and savoring it.
Two types of people, vacuum and 5-star savors it.
You almost get the feeling that Tig's sort of used to savoring her food a bit more than she usually does now.
I have been told that we are being played on the big TV in the living room. What an honor.
Very good.
Are there cats?
There is one cat. Her name is Misty, and she is a spoiled baby.
Is she asleep?
I do not know.
Very good, very good.
Klondike, could we possibly get an update on the small spoiled baby?
Yes, it's very riveting.
Yes, I am told that Misty is sleeping like the precious spoiled princess that she is.
Now we just need to get Klondike to talk in the chat.
Yeah, to prove that she exists.
Yes!
Yes, my girlfriend from Canada that goes to a different boarding school that none of you have ever seen and have never heard of her school, I guarantee it.
Have y'all
My girlfriend
considered?
who comes from Canada!
Have you considered that power armor is basically a fursuit for those who want to be robots?
Are you
Actually,
saying Master Chief is a mech version of a furry?
Yes.
there's actually an entire subset of the furry fandom that is just robot furries.
Ah, Protos, I've heard of them.
Protogen. Correct.
Also, she said, "Nope, I'm a robot, totally AI." The secret has been revealed. I'm so ashamed of myself.
I knew you were a protogen all along.
She's not from Canada. She's from Canada.
It's funny.
No, I'm not ashamed of that joke. I think Crumb will think to look up at CD and be like, "CD, did you move this? Did you move the sign by chance?" "No. Why would I move that thing? It's big, wooden, heavy. I hate signs. I like messing with smaller stuff."
Like what sort of smaller stuff?
CD will CD will cackle
Like small rocks with smiley faces on them?
And respond with buttons.
Like small little rocks with smiley faces on them?
Oh no, the smiley face was on a very, very big rock.
Oh, very good.
Perhaps. Depends on who's asking.
Hello.
Just give me like 20 more attempts. I will slowly distinguish their voice.
As long as we can follow the context of the conversation.
Then,
Yes.
that's a good point. I mean, it's you know, it is what it is. All right. Well, food is lovely today, Crumb. Thank you for not poisoning us all.
Is that to CD or Crumb?
Crumb.
I like to think Crumb is just like, "Oh no, I'd never want to do that. Food's too good to waste."
Exactly.
I wasn't thinking you'd ever do it on purpose.
Oh god, that's so funny out of character. Someone tells that to Crumb and he's just like, "You think I would poison food on accident? Do you have no trust in my skills as a chef?"
You say you're just learning it, right?
I've cooked many things before. I just didn't bring a lot of the cookbooks with me, and it's more of improvised. Less of smart people cooking and more of hungry people cooking.
Understandable.
I mean, hungry people cooking is the best kind of cooking.
I know, out of character. It's like that thing where you're making one food and you're like, "Man, I bet this would taste so good if I mixed in like other thing, like, you know, other normal thing, like adding some chips to a stew or like chopping up some meat to throw in with mac and cheese, like that kind. Not whatever cursed nonsense is going on in some of those other forums."
Deep fried cigarette.
I cry. I hope whoever came up with the idea of Pepto-Bismol chicken can never find the other sock they're looking for.
To be fair, it's like cough syrup has been used as a mix-in for so many things.
This is why I can never truly put my faith in humanity. I was fine with pineapple on pizza. I am not fine with whoever decided that peas and mayonnaise were a pizza topping. I will never forgive them.
I'm glad you didn't know me when I was younger.
I think people
Neither should I have concerns.
I did a lot of strange mix-ins when I was cooking back in my younger years. I had an obsession with mayonnaise and peanut butter.
Mitha, I don't accept it, but I forgive you.
To be fair, I was a kid. I was maybe 12.
I've gotten so sidetracked about food. Can you tell?
We were cooking out near the foot of the bridge, and we were
Yes.
talking about the sign.
Yeah, Crumb encouraged everyone to set up camp for the night because it's like, hey, maybe we shouldn't try to cross/look for the bridge in the dark. That will not go well.
No, because you tend to not see the bridge when it's dark. I think with the food taken care of tonight, Tiggy spent some time reading her book.
I like to think Crumb just absentmindedly says something like, "Yeah, and whatever's under the bridge," like it's nothing, like it's just a normal thing.
What's under the bridge?
I don't know yet.
We've yet
Bats.
to find out.
Could be bats. Could be moss. Could be birds. Could be Todd. Any number of things.
Who's Todd?
You know, bridge guy.
Who's the bridge guy?
It's Todd.
What's Todd look like?
DM, I hope it's this place, or maybe I'm just remembering wrong, but is the Glen the place that we chose that there was just something under the bridge?
Yes, I read it off earlier when I was reviewing the location. Something ancient. Hang on, let me find the exact wording again.
Yeah.
A feral and remarkable creature that no one has seen for hundreds of years. And if you're wondering if I have any ideas for what that is, oh yeah.
I'm always glad to be ominous and quote unquote helpful. But yeah, Crumb just thinks of that as like, Crumb feels like he's answered the question sufficiently, even if he hasn't. Oh gosh, I just saw that meme.
What one?
The one of, if your cup is only half full, you probably need to. Look, I get distracted easily.
We all get distracted easily.
I mean, it's an ADHD thing. There's a reason I do try and re-rail us periodically.
The rails are an illusion.
The rails are overgrown. Sometimes we lose them.
I mean, you are the one that likes trains the most, so rails are your friend.
I think once Crumb helps clean up the cooking stuff, or at least dim the fire a bit, he starts getting ready for bed. Steedy comes back and will hand like some strands of grass to Protector. Here you go.
What are these for?
Alarms.
They're
You
like
seem like the type to enjoy them.
tripwires, or
The blades of grass that CD hands to Protector end up being unexpectedly longer than expected, and they just kind of disappear into the grass, and like distantly you see Protector can see like the glimmer of some kind of like line, like string shape across like the very bottom of some trees. Like the more Protector looks around, like they probably eventually catch sight of other ones glimming.
Thank you. Never be too
CD
careful in
looks
these
very
times.
proud of themselves and also hands some strands to Crumb and to Tigris. And I think to Tigris they will say, "You smell like book."
Yes, yes, I've been spending a lot of time in book. She sort of motions to the book that she was reading. It's just like, what happens if she smells them?
I'm guessing that's like the How to Read Magic book.
Well, more specifically, it's a language book. The idea is the problem with the book that she was given is that it's a language barrier, and so she's working on the reading the language.
Oh gosh, I like to think CD sees that book and is just like, "Ah, the baby ready magic book."
One has to start somewhere.
CD just accepts this and goes back to find a comfortable place to sleep on Crumb's hat or blanket.
Or his head.
You know what? Yeah, probably.
See, we just keep doing adorable.
Oops. We're doing adorable in the adorable tabletop RPG.
Like I said earlier, it gives me like some definite like Studio Ghibli vibes. How are we feeling?
I feel hilarious.
I feel good, maybe a tiny bit tired.
Okay.
I feel like do we want to end here since the group is like taking a nap, or do we want to end on like a cliffhanger?
Well, it sort of feels like this would be a good time to wrap up because Kat is getting tired, and I sort of feel like when we're losing energy, the stream kind of loses energy, and that's not a focus on any one person. That's just sort of the energy of the whole table, you know?
Yeah.
You're good. I do.
So-
I am happy that I'm like slowly getting into the vibe of this game and contributing more.
Yeah.
Yes, I love it.
I've really enjoyed it.
Well, I enjoy hanging out with y'all.
And I was going to point out to you, Kat, we have a few options if you would like to read out.
Sure.
Because Laveau is still streaming,
This is true.
and I'm not seeing any signs of the lad stopping anytime soon. Even though it's got to be, oh my fucking god, o'clock in the morning over there in England.
Famous last words.
I
think this person's going to keep streaming for a while. Let's raid them.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming to the stream.
That said, GM Starson just started up.
Yes.
In fact, I don't think GM Starson. Let me check.
Has gotten out of the starting soon screen.
Yeah, they're still on the starting soon screen. Like, they just started.
They have been streaming for 7. Laveau has been streaming for 7 hours.
7-8 hours. Like, they started at about 10 o'clock, and it's about 5:30 p.m.
Yeah.
So 7.5, almost 8 hours.
I don't think they're going to be streaming much longer, or at the very least, they shouldn't be.
Yeah. Let's
They're also
rate.
determined to finish Abiotic Factor. But on the other hand, GM Starson just started. So
Yeah, let's go say hi to them.
you might want to wait until they get out of starting soon, which will be in 4 minutes.
Sure, let's open up their
We
stream.
can entertain the audience for another 4 minutes, or at least distract them.
All right, so first,
How do we feel about this game? About Wonder Home?
I'm loving it.
I
This is
really
adorable.
enjoy it. I still, just conceptually, I really struggle with, not having a GM, I guess.
Okay.
Somewhat, like,
Big mood.
I feel
just-
like I want there to be, I want it there, you know? Like, it feels weird
Just
there
like-
not being a GM.
Like just a designated person who you can look to and be like, "Hey,
All right, where's the
what-
story
what-
going?"
What should we do?"
Yeah.
It's like, it does feel like a little directionless, but keep in mind, it feels like the game wanders. What's the game called?
See, playing this game GM-less feels like the correct way to play it.
Correct.
But it also is a style that I don't... There's almost like an uncomfortableness.
It's something new, I think.
I think, yeah, I think it's mostly just that you're not used to this style.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that that's a bad thing. How did you feel when I kind of like took over and ran for a little while?
That felt great. I love that.
And I think also there was a little time when Azure, took over and ran for a bit.
I guess
And I
there's
still-
also something like... Sorry, go ahead.
And I think that's the way it's supposed to go, where everyone has a little time in the spotlight and everyone has a little time where they're running, where they're DMing.
Yeah. I guess it's like also I'm just like... Part of me feels weird about taking up that space when I do have ideas. Because it's not... I'm not the GM, so I don't just want to go be the GM, you know?
Here's the thing. I think if you have ideas, you should jump in and start DMing.
Yeah.
When we went to the witch's house, I was like, I have ideas for this, because I had actually mentioned on Monday I have a whole bunch of ideas for the witch. And so when I created the NPC of the witch, I wrote in all of these details. And when you jump to the witch's house, I'm like, no, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna run this because I have ideas for this. And I think you should feel free to do the same. If you have ideas, run it. Same thing to you, Azure. If you have ideas, do it.
Yeah, I've been working
Hi,
on
are
the
you
whole
the other
like,
escort?
it's like, oh, I have an idea. I'm going to speak up and lead the group.
Fine. It can get a bit bumpy, but
Like it does take some getting used to, but I'm getting used to that.
I mean, sometimes that's just generally like being assertive. The only thing that I'm going to point out is we should probably focus on using the rules on the sheet a bit more, because it's like I've been gathering tokens but not spending them,
Yeah.
for example.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking of ideas of how to spend mine when I haven't been speaking, and I've got some ideas, but I gotta be utilizing that sheet more, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is actually me using some of the tools on the sheet, because I've asked several times, it's like, how do we feel? What do you think? Like, what do you think is explicitly listed under journeying tools?
Yeah.
Metha over here like, what do you think? Me as Crumb. Think. Sound of whistling wind through an empty canyon.
All right. Looks like GM Stars starting. Let's start that.
Okay.
Jump 'em.
Yes.
All right, everybody. We will be back on Monday, because we're going to keep doing Wonder Home unless we decide we're going to do something else.
Yeah.
If we ever get a Catboy back, there's a number of other things that we could do, but
We'll
that's
get
up,
him back eventually.
that's up to that boy and his health.
Yes. very important.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
We do love that boy.
let's raid in. Say hello.
Let's go say ho to GM Starson. Who is playing something called Gunfire Reborn. I don't know what that is.
Sounds familiar.